The S24 Ultra is the cure for iPhone. And I think it's the best phone you can get in the United States right now, even the first 3 months of its life in 2024. So, fantastic phone, all the bells and whistles, 5,000 milliamp battery, Gorilla Glass armor, 2600 nits brightness screen, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, S Pen DeX. The list goes on, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff in this video because, one, I do think it's the best Samsung phone you can get. I think it's probably the best Android phone you can get. I certainly think it's better than Apple. So let's talk about it in this video. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now, let's talk about the S24 Ultra. The S24 Ultra has been out for 3 months. Really hard to believe that. And I think by and large, it's been a pretty fantastic experience. Samsung's been ultra responsive to their Ultra phone by coming out with lots of patches, lots of updates. They've improved and optimized the camera more. They made it through the screen fiasco where they just decided to go ahead and bump it up and make it look more vibrant like the previous Samsung phones of yesteryear. And undisputed, best hardware you can get in a phone. It's got the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, perfect for gaming, perfect for multitasking, perfect for everything you could possibly want to do on a phone, and it gets excellent battery life and top-notch signal. So this thing, I've been using this side by side a lot the last couple of months with my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and the signal, the Wi-Fi on here definitely kills it. But then on top of that, you get all the great benefits of the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. It's got low heat, it's got great power, and it's got all-day battery life. I think it has better battery life than even the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And if you're looking to escape Apple, come on over to the Samsung side. So one of the great things that they did this go around is you've got 7 years of support now, 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches. They've been Johnny on the spot with updates. They've come out with a lot of updates, a lot of fixes, and they're very aggressive with making sure you get the best experience possible, and they're responsive to the audience. They came out and they made the screen look a little bit more natural, a little bit more neutral this go around. People didn't like that, so then they changed it to give an option so you can change the saturation and the vibrancy on the screen to where it looks brighter and the screen colors pop out more like they did previously. So don't say Samsung is not listening, because they certainly are. Now, you get the S Pen, which you can basically only get in this phone. I mean, if you take a look around the phone market, there's not a whole lot of styluses that come with phones, or especially not that are integrated inside of the phone and have all the great air gestures. You can use it as a remote shutter, control the camera, control video, and things like that. And then I think it's just a beautiful phone. They gave us the flat screen this go around, and I think that the proof is in the pudding. I've been reading a lot of articles saying that the S24, especially the Ultra series, has been such a hit that their sales numbers have been quite a bit higher this go around. So that's good. 200 megapixel camera. They did tone it down. No longer a 10 times telescopic telephoto. It's a 5 times, but it's enhanced with AI, computational photography. It still looks pretty good if you reach out and touch stuff, but I think the 10 times is still a little bit better. But fortunately, I don't shoot a lot of those shots, so I don't care that much. 4K video, front, back, all those great things. 8K video, 24 frames, 30 frames, and you've got the titanium built into the frame now, and you've got the Gorilla Glass Victus armor, which I found to be pretty good, even though I put a case on it. But when I carried a couple days without a case, I didn't pick up a bunch of scratches. One nice thing too, so I've got the Samsung anti-reflective screen protector on here, but the screen itself has anti-reflective properties, which are so nice, especially when you're outside. You don't get as much of that glare, you don't get as much of that reflection, and you've got the 2600 nits brightness, which looks plain as day, even when you're out in like the brightest of the bright sunny days. So that's some fantastic stuff. You've got plenty of RAM, you've got plenty of storage. It starts with 256. I have the 512 model. In the future, if you want to buy one, you should probably pre-order it because you get all those extra freebies, double the storage, all that great stuff. But overall, like I said, I think it's the best phone you can get on the market right now. And then One UI 6.1 has been fantastic. And you've got the circle to search feature, you've got the interpreter, you've got live translation on the phone calls, you've got the generative edit for your photos and things like that. They've done so much with the AI, and they've been spreading it out like hotcakes. It's like You get AI. You get AI. They recently just dropped it, or it's coming for the S22 series phones if it's not already launched there. So Samsung is doubling down on AI, and I think they're probably in the best position to do it because one, it's on the backbone of Google's AI. They're just kind of renaming it and integrating it with their phones, and it's more widespread than any other phone manufacturer that's out there. They're like very actively pushing it to their other phones. So you get all the AI stuff, and then it's just a joy to use. I love the haptic feedback on it. The typing experience is great. You've got the facial recognition with the camera. You've got the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which is the best in the business, and it's the most secure fingerprint scanner you can get. As you can see, it's quite fast, very responsive, even with the screen protector on it. And for how big of a phone it is, it's not even necessarily like super bulky, heavy, like end of the world. Yes, it has weight that's commensurate with its size, but I think they've still done a pretty good job with loading this phone up with everything and it still being a very well balanced phone. So, a lot of people, I talk about this from two different perspectives. I say, one, yes, it's the best Android phone you can get. It's been out for 3 months, it's fantastic. But then on top of that, I think it's the best alternative for people looking for something that's not an iPhone. I mean, clearly iPhone is the number one in the United States when it comes to people buying phones, but not everybody likes the iPhone. Not everybody wants an Apple phone. Not everybody wants to go that route, want to try something decent. And we all know that the iPhones suck at multitasking. Fantastic multitasking on here. And then you get the best stylus in the world, the S Pen, that you can take your notes, you can do your air gestures, you can do your memos, you can do drawing, you can do artwork, you can do all sorts of different business and multitasking stuff because the fluidity of the S Pen and using the phone on a day-to-day basis is really, really good. So I think there's a lot here to like as an alternative to an iPhone, but I also as an alternative to a lot of other phones. A lot of people were very sour on Samsung for a long time, but they've done a good job shoring everything up over the last couple of years. I remember years ago when people were like, oh, Samsung updates their software support, it sucks. Now they're the best. They're more reliable than Google. They're on par with Apple, I think, and they're pushing out updates constantly. They're always fixing and improving things, and you get that 7 years of support. I got to tell you, I have a lot more faith in 7 years of support with a Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 than I do with the Google Tensor 3. Even though I think the Google Tensor 3 is perfectly fine, I think it's a good chip. But when you stack them up next to each other and you see this is like a Corvette engine that you've got in this versus like a Honda Civic with the turbocharger in the Tensor 3, they're both good. But when you take a look at horsepower, gameplay, having the maximum experience for everything, you're going to find it here with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 and the S24 Ultra series phone. So even after 3 months, there's still nothing that I think beats this phone. And of course, it is expensive. It's $12.99. There are some deals and sales right now. You can take a look. I've got a link in the description. It'll take you straight to the Samsung website. You can check that out there. They've got some deals going on. But yeah, it's expensive. But if you take a look at it and you think about keeping a phone 3, 4, 5 years and you average that cost out, it makes it a little bit more palatable, especially if you decide you want to go the carrier route. They've always got deals with the carriers. They're always trying to scheme you into something. But for people who like to take advantage of carrier deals, you update your phone every 3 or 4 years, then it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just got my kids some new phones, and some of them wanted to upgrade their iPhone from the 13 Pro to the 15 Pro Max, and they were giving like $1,000 of trading credit. I'm like, all right, cool. So I got to pay like $100, $200, and then I'll finance that over 3 years. That's not a whole lot of money. If you're not planning on leaving your carrier, well, then it's not that big of a deal. I prefer to buy unlocked phones typically though for myself, and I like to buy them through Samsung. Samsung has great financing. They've got the best trade-in deals that you can get. They've got exclusive colors. They always have a lot of different deals. They've got the different discounts for military, fire, EMS, and they've got the best trade-in program. They send you the FedEx label. You get 2 weeks once your phone shows up. And even right now, they're making this video. They're doing that free 30-day trial thing. Not free. I mean, you got to buy it, but you get up to 30 days to return it with some caveats. But it's some pretty good stuff going on. So they really want people to try a Samsung phone. And I'm not trying to encourage you to go out and buy one of these, but I'm just trying to say if you want to get the best phone available in the Android world, I think it's even better than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So if you want to say best phone in the US, and then if you're trying to escape Apple, and the other nice thing is, if you've been worried about leaving Apple because of the iMessage crap and the green bubble and the blue bubble, Apple is going to give RCS support for iMessage. So that means that the Samsung and the Android phone should be able to talk and have better group text, group messages, be able to send media back and forth, and it's going to alleviate a lot of those pain points. So here in a couple of months, it's going to be easier than ever to switch over to an Android phone, especially a Samsung phone. And if you like things with the ecosphere, with the Apple stuff, like the MacBook, the iPad, the Apple Watch, all that stuff, Samsung has the most built out ecosphere. You can get the Samsung Galaxy Tab, you can get the Galaxy Book laptop, you can get the Galaxy Watch. I love my Watch 5 Pro. It's fantastic. They got the Galaxy Watch 6 now. So there's a lot of things that make it easier than any other brand to switch over to Samsung if you're thinking about leaving Papa Apple to come over to Papa Samsung. And on top of that, I just think it's a fantastic phone. Like, it's really, really good. So that's all I got. Even 3 months later, it's a shiny beacon in the Android world, especially here in the US. We don't get access to some of the other phones that are kind of cool that might be available in China and Asia and India and things like that. But when it comes to brand name, strength, reliability, accessibility, sales, trade in, and then that 7 years of support now and the built out ecosphere, they're pretty much second to none in the Android world. And they make for a really good phone. So I've really enjoyed it. I think it's fantastic. And Samsung did a really, really good job. And they made a lot of people happy with the flat screen instead of the curved edge display this go around. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you found this helpful, enjoyable, insightful, anything, hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.